Has Ohio State become the favorite to win the Big Ten in football in 2024? You know, if you'd have watched the Cotton Bowl, Steve Sipple, I don't know what you would have thought about Ohio State for 2024, but as the portal cycle has now closed and we've seen Ohio State now add 2 really, really good quarterbacks to their roster, along with some other high-profile players from places like Alabama, the Buckeyes, to me, feel like they might be the favorite to win the Big Ten next year.
It's either Ohio State or Oregon. That's what it is. It's either
Michigan's going to drop off. I think we both agree on that, right?
Absolutely. They're going to lose a lot of players, and they might lose their head coach. Meanwhile, Ryan Day and 2 collectives. Now, they have 2 – Sean, I don't know if you're up on this like I they have 2 collectives going now, the Ohio State. You mentioned players that they've drawn from the portal. The number one ranked player in the portal was Caleb Downs, safety at Alabama, Ohio State now. Caleb Downs goes to Ohio State. Quinshawn Judkins, who's rushed it, 2 years at Ole Miss for 1,000 yards plus a piece. He went to Ohio State to play running back, and they got Travion Henderson back. I mean, they got – now think about what they got.
And then they added Will Howard, who led Kansas State to a Big 12 championship. And then they added Julian Sang, a 5-star that was at Alabama.
Right. And then we didn't mention Seth McLaughlin, who had trouble snapping for Alabama in the national semifinal. He entered the portal right away, and now he's at Ohio State. So those players we named, Caleb Downs, top-rated player in the portal. Quinshawn Judkins, number 1 running back in the portal, I have to think. I mean, if he wasn't, he should have been. He's there. Seth McLaughlin, and then you mentioned the quarterbacks. I don't know how they're going to make it work with all those quarterbacks, but more the merrier.
Just think about how different the Big Ten has changed, or how much it's changed since the national championship game. You're watching Washington, Kellen DeBoer. You're like, God, this guy's going to be a bear to go against every week. He's gone. He's at Alabama. Jim Harbaugh, we think, is gone. I mean, this Big Ten and Ohio State, give Ryan Day credit. People want to run him out of town.
Yeah, they do.
And what's he doing? He's got his nose and head down, and he's fighting, and he's adding players. And
a lot of this is NIL. That's what it is. They're using the free agent market very well. I mean, now again in that top 20. Now, Sean, I'll tell you. Remember, I referenced earlier in the show the On3 top 20 NILs collectives. They weren't in the top 20 this summer.
They've had some problems.
Yeah, but they've come on. Since the spring, they've made some big moves, and again, they have 2 of them going now. So I bet the next time On3 does some rankings, Ohio State will be in the top 20. Nebraska, by the way, people wondering right now, where was Nebraska? This summer, Nebraska's collective was number 19 in the top.
And I would say they've improved since that point, because things to me have aligned. Well, there was some confusion a little bit with Nebraska NIL when there were 2 collectives listed, but really only 1 operating. And now I feel like everything is kind of behind 1890 and things have moved forward. And we've seen that with the way they went in the transfer portal, because they would not have gotten all these guys. They don't get Dylan Raiola without aligned NIL.
They don't get Jamal Banks and Isaiah Nayor, both of them, the receivers.
Like Dowdell, I mean, a guy like that comes with money. You can't, you're not getting Dowdell here without a deal.
Yeah, you're sure not getting Jamal Banks here.
But then you forget about their ability to bring in guys as walk-ons, but have NIL opportunities for them. I mean, that's very expensive.
Okay, education time, Sean Callahan. I was reading an On3 article about the NIL, and it said that the top NIL collectives in the nation have a working budget of about $10 million.
So the top tier is 10 to 15, and I would say Nebraska is in that area.
Oh, okay. So they said that's like the second tier would be 4 to 8 million, 4 million to 8 million. You think Nebraska would be above the 4 to 8?
I think they'd either be at the very top of that second tier, but a lot of it is like, what is your roster worth? Like, what if you have a roster that's not worth $10 or $12 million, you don't pay them $10 or $12 million.
Right.
Like, you pay the whole point of it is still to get the best players for the least amount of money. It's not to overpay for less guys, just so you can say you've spent the most money.
No, it's tricky though, because some of the players you pay, you don't know how they're going to turn out. Right. So it's tricky, but Nebraska's in the game. They give themselves a chance. Not everybody's equal in this conversation. I was talking to Tim Albin at Ohio, and they just started a collective, like just in recent months.
And that to me seems kind of minimal, like I don't see like a collective like that being kind of like a big
Ohio.
Yeah.
No, unless there's a big donor that's just throwing money around, which can happen in this world. But anyway, yeah, Ohio, I think the answer to your question is Ohio State and Oregon would be the favorites right now based on talent on hand. Ryan Day also hired Bill O'Brien as offensive coordinator.
Hello.
Yeah, hello is right. He's made big moves there. Bill O'Brien is offensive coordinator. Yeah.
They don't have an AD yet.
Ross Bjork.
Oh, he's okay. They just named that was just this week, right?
Yeah, I don't know when it was exactly, but Ross Bjork is the AD.
That's a good hire by Ted Carter.
Big name in collegiate athletics.
He left to A&M.
Right. So Ohio State's well positioned. Now Ryan Day, the pressure on him is enormous. Like win a national championship. It's kind of like
it's beat Michigan.
Yeah. Well, if you beat Michigan, you'll be in position to win a national championship probably.